In this lecture, we're talking lighting. We're making our game look way better by playing around with the lights and adding some point lights and spotlights and playing around with the environment light. Let us get started. Let's start by talking about the lights that we'll have in our scene. We have a main directional light, which is the sun. We also have environment lighting, which is our skybox, and that has an impact on our world as well, so it can give a red tinge to it if we wanted to. We have some scene lights. We're going to be adding those in a moment, and we can also add lights to game objects, such as adding lights to the player that follow it around as it cruises around the world. So when we go back into our scene here, first of all, one thing I want to point out, if you have a look at your scene and then have a look at your game, they look a little bit different. There's a different kind of flavor to them. That's because in scene, at the moment in my game scene, for me anyway, yours might be different. If I scroll and find these little circle things, you can see shaded draw mode and unlit draw mode. Currently, I'm in unlit draw mode. If I click on shaded draw mode, now we can see the shadows and we can see a lot more detail of what's going on. It looks kind of nicer looking color. So let's click on the direction light, which is the sun, or directional light, I should have said. And if we click on E for rotate, as we rotate that, you'll see that the shadows change where they're positioned in the world. And have it lit fairly front on, because I think it's more like a stage, like when you go to the theater, we want the lights coming from the front and maybe a little bit of shadow just to give it some depth and flavor. Maybe like that. There we go. I'm also going to reduce the intensity a lot. So while clicked on the directional light, if I scroll down and find intensity, down, I can turn it all the way to 0 and it's still not dark. So that's the first thing we need to consider. But I'll put it to like 0.2. You can change the temperature if you want it cooler, like it's a moon, or warmer, a bit more like Mars. I'm going to have it just slightly warmer, just slightly. Now, we want to see the impact of our environment light as well. If you don't have this window tab, you can go up to window, up the top in the thingy, in the menus, and then find rendering and click on lighting. Lighting, when I click on that, if I click on the environment button, you can see in here, down a little bit, the source for environment lighting is Skybox. I could change that to color, and we could say it's all going to be more like a blue color or like an orange color. Because I quite like this, using this environment more. That blue color was looking a little bit interesting. I'm going to go back to the one I chose a moment ago. So there's a little bit of a coolness, coldness to our world, which I think is nice, giving everything a little bit of a blue tint to it. Okay, now the point I was making here is it wasn't very dark. So if I scroll down and find the intensity multiplier and drop that down, if I was drop that to 0, click on my directional light and then click on inspector and drop that all the way down to 0, it's going to be pretty unlit, which is not very nice. I'll put that back, Control Z, and then find my lighting and environment, turn this up a little bit. So okay, I'm looking at the environment reflections at the moment as I twiddle this, and that's what's giving it this kind of blue bouncy tinge. Now this is looking pretty interesting, but one thing we want to do at this point is go up to edit and find lighting and generate lighting, because we've been doing some fiddling in here and there's some things that we want to have baked in. Baked in means that the light is fixed. You tell it, look like this, and then it doesn't change. It's all baked in and it's good to go. So we've got some shadows. We've got some lights in here when I click into the game. Yep, it's looking pretty cool. Now, let's add in a point light. The way we do that in our hierarchy is right-click, find light, and then add in point light. Point light is just like a light bulb, if you will. I'm going to click on the inspector to go back to that, find my transform, right-click, reset. So it's right in the middle of the world, so I know what I'm dealing with. Hit W, and the way I'm going to be using point lights is to brighten up those areas of my world that I don't want the player to accidentally not realize they could bump into. So it's basically saying, hey, this thing is important, take note of it, you might bump into it. And you can see that we've got this big orb around the outside. That's the radius. So if you scroll down while clicked on your light, find, where is it? Range, sorry, it's the range. If we reduce the range a little bit, so it's just going to be around here. And we can pretend that this thing has some lights coming off it somewhere. You could change the color of this light to make it more of a red look to it, but I'll keep it that color for now. I think that's okay. I'll put it down the bottom, actually. That's where the player's going to bump into it. And then I'm going to Control D, move that over to the other one. Actually, this other one's a little bit high. I'm just going to drop that down a little bit so that you actually see it. Find my light again, click on the point light, put that down. And if you wanted to make it super bright, you could pump up the intensity, pump it up to 6 on that one maybe. Click on that light, pump that up to 5 or 6 as well. Okay, what I need to do as well to organize my hierarchies, I'm going to right click, create an empty, we'll call this lights, and then I will transform, reset that, and then grab the point light, drag that underneath lights. That way we can keep it nice and tidy. So I've got a couple of lights in there. What I could do as well is add a spotlight. So I'll take one of my existing lights just to show you we can. Click on the first point light. Under the type, I can change this to spot. And a spotlight is like at the theater where you're illuminating the stage. I can change the intensity as we did before. I can change the scrolling up here. We've got the bit more space. We've got the outer and inner area of our spotlights. That's the outer area, that's the inner area. If you have them the same, it's going to be a fairly hard outline on our light. If you have the inner one smaller relative to the outside one, there's going to be more of a softer drop off from there. Then we can change the range to make it super long or super big if we wanted to. So they're the two factors here, range and then the inner outer spotlight, to change those values there. I'm just going to undo that, Control Z, to put that back to a point light. I just wanted to show you the spotlight so that we've seen it. Now, the next part of what I want to do is highlight the other things that are of importance. So the things that are of most importance are the landing pad, the launch pad, and you know what? I realized just before, finish pad, that's the dumbest name ever. Why isn't this called a landing pad? So I'm going to change it from finish pad to landing pad. Apologies if when we named that a couple of lectures ago, you're like, Rick, that's not a finish pad, it's a landing pad. So we've got our landing pad, we've got our launch pad. Let's just see if there's any overrides. That often happens. Nope, it's cool. So I'm going to grab my launch pad and click into the launch pad prefab to open that up and add ourselves a light in here. Right click light and we'll add a point light. I'm just going to right click on transform reset so it's relative to the parent. It's right in the middle there. I will reduce the range, I think. So it's just looking at the pad itself. Probably move it up above. No point having it underneath the pad. And then increase the intensity, increase the range a little bit. Increase it up a little bit, just so it glows, so it's illuminating, I think. I could make it blue as well to make it more suitable for the pad. It doesn't really work, though, because it's kind of blue on blue. You sort of need the white on the blue so that you can see that it's highlighting the blue. So that's okay as it is there. I don't want to finesse it too much. You can see now we've added a change to our launch pad. So when I click out of launch pad, if I click back on launch pad and then overrides, apply all. And did we get that on our landing pad as well? Yes, it does also have a light to make that nice and glowy. Great, so that's glowing. That's what we wanted to do. And next up, I want to put some lights on my rocket. I'm going to set this to you as a challenge. Light your rocket, add a point light to make the rocket pop on the screen so it's nice and crisp and clear, and add a spotlight that points out of the front of the rocket, lighting its path. So pause the video. I'll see you back here when you're done. Step 1, play a rocket, open up the prefab. Can tell it's a prefab because it says prefab. Right click, light, point light. Put this back into the middle, 0, 0, 0, or I could have reset. Reduce the size of it, the range, down a little bit. Put it in front of the rocket so it's actually lighting up the rocket. There we go, nice light. Cool. I could have done a spotlight pointing towards the rocket, but this just seemed a little bit easier to do it this way. Okay, that's fine for now. Do we want to change the color of it? No, I think that's okay. Now, we'll right click and create a light, spotlight. It's going to be pointing downwards. Okay, we'll reset that one as well. So it's on the actual rocket and it's pointing forwards. Need a rotation. I think it's going to be on the X. So X minus 90 is my best guess. Minus 90. Okay, way up in the sky. I don't know if that's the right size or bigness of it. Let's make it a little bit softer and spread it out a little bit more, I think. There we go. Color, white. Yeah, white's okay. And the range, we'll make it nice and long. Okay, now when I click on play, I should have a... I can see that I've got the point light. What about the spotlight? How's it doing? Oh yeah, there it is. It wasn't so good. Let's go back and fiddle around with the spotlight a little bit more. I think maybe it needs to come out of the rocket a little bit. Make it a little bit broader. And maybe the range a little bit shorter, shallower. And like that. And pump up the intensity like that. Okay, now let's see if we get a spotlight. Yep, it looks like it's spotlighting. That allows the player to see, oh, what happens if I go near that wall? Oh yeah, it's an actual wall. So again, we can play around with that and give it a little bit more finesse, but I think that's pretty good. Click out of our prefab. Let's just triple check overrides. There's a couple of things to apply. Particle systems from in the past, just apply all those, because soon we're going to have to put these into other levels. So that's all looking pretty neat. Now, as a last little exercise, let's make ourselves some sort of glowy light bulb emissive box type thing, just so we can play around with the emissive texture. So we'll right click, create ourselves a 3D object and cube. I will reset that so I know where it is, just there. We'll put it on top of something so we can look at it and play around with it. Up a little bit. Oh, lost it. Up a little bit here. There we go. There's a cube looking pretty basic and plain. I'm going to rename it from cube to be light box. Light box type things are pretty handy because you can pretend they're street lamps, you can pretend they're some sort of light source or lantern just by placing it. See over here, we've got a light, but we don't have any light box. So it looks a little bit fake. But over here, because we've got this emissive material and it's glowing with our bloom from our post-processing, it looks pretty neat. So let's make that over here with our box. I'm going to find my assets and then materials. I'll right click in here, create a material, and we'll call this glow, just because it's nice and broad. Drag that over the top of our box. Click back on glow. Now within here, just get that out of the way. If I click on emission, that allows us to create something with emission. It's only black at the moment, so click on the where it says HDR. We'll change it to something sort of orangey to fit with the overall vibe of what the other glowy things are doing in our world. Now, under my light box, I'm going to right-click and create a light. We'll have a point light, I think, makes sense. And I'm going to, now this is a child, I will right-click, transform, reset. So it's right in the middle. It was right in the middle anyway. Good stuff. Bring it forward a little bit to the front of the box. So I want to have, this is where my light is kind of bouncing out of. I'm going to change the color to be orangey kind of color. So we get that glow that's coming off our orange box is an orange light, so it all makes sense. You can see it's not proper orange. I think that's because we've gone and applied a blue to our environment. So sometimes these things get in a little bit of conflict when you've got a blue environment light and you've got an orange glow box, and then it ends up looking kind of pink. But these are the things that we can fiddle with, and that's the fun and the joy of it. Now when we click on our game window, actually it's a little bit far back. Let me move it closer to the camera. Click on it. You can see that it looks a little bit glowy. If I was to go to my global volume, scroll down and find where's bloom, and increase the intensity here, you can see that it glows and glows and glows. So that's a combination of the emissive material, but it's mostly about our point light that we've put on it. So the whole thing has that look to it. And why do we need the emissive material? We don't really, but it just gives it that kind of that glow to it, if you will. And you can see if we clicked on our material and scroll down to emission, you can see the impact of that when we turn it on and off. The emission has the color be consistent the whole way around, whereas if I find my point light, just turn the point light off for a second, go back to the glow material and turn emission on and off, you can see the impact of that. It goes from being just sort of a neutral color to having that sort of glowy emissionness to it. Turn my point light back on because that's what's giving us a lot of the punch. And there we go. We've made our little light box. So if I go back into my scene and say, where would I like to place this? I was actually going to put them back in the background, but I think they're going to look better in the mid-ground, as in where the game is being played. So it says to the player, hey, don't bump into this thing just here. Maybe down underneath there, just as a way of illuminating. If we look at the game, yeah, you're going to fly past there. That's cool. There's a little light source. Duplicate that. Probably makes sense to have that down here as well, on our object that we're trying to avoid down here. But if we put it just there like that, and then duplicate and put it over the other side, then we're using this as a little tool to say, hey, this is something that you should avoid, don't bump into it. We could potentially even duplicate and put this up underneath our rock. So I like using this as a technique for helping the player not bump into things because they didn't see it. Yeah, there we go. Let's play that, make sure it's all looking good. That little light's down there. It's not really doing much, but it's just a little Easter egg down on the ground. And then there's lights and lights. Okay, they say don't bump into me. So it's a really nice way, I think, of just illuminating the path. You can put some of these on the lights of our rovers if you wanted to give them some lights. You can put different colored lights on this object just here. So to really light your world and make it look dynamic, I might take a minute just to add another couple of lights after I stop this lecture. Nothing that you need to know about, just to kind of do a little bit of finessing of my level. So feel free to do the same if you'd like to. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next lecture.